Will, we're doing something unprecedented here.
You're in a hotel room.
Yes, I'm in a hotel room sitting in Taipei, Taiwan. But
we've done hotel
we're doing
rooms
a cold
before.
open. What?
Oh, yeah, cold open.
Yeah, cold open. We've never done a cold open before. And
really?
Yeah, no, I really don't. Usually we come in with, hey, welcome everybody to episode
we do
whatever
the intro.
of Expedition not Expedition Handheld. Jeez, Dual Boot Diaries.
It's like Russ is standing there with you right now, and he can hear what you're saying, and you're only thinking of him, and you're not thinking about me anymore, and you're just like, man, I wish I was podcasting with Russ right now.
I know, right? Yeah, that's what I'm always thinking. Anyway,
no, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
We have some news that we decided to record a little section here and put in front of the podcast that we actually recorded last week.
Look, it's best not to think about the time too much because it'll make us a little crazy, because we recorded this one before we recorded last week's, but we're recording this after we posted last week's, but before we posted this week's. But it's after, importantly, the 400th episode of The Full Nerd, which happened on Tuesday of this week. When we announced,
it was still this week. Yeah,
it's still this week. It seems like 100 years ago to you, but for me, it's just like 2 days ago. But we announced that my time with PCWorld is coming to an end. So budgets have changed, and freelance budgets have changed, and and as a result, Tuesday was my last regular Full Nerd episode, and we're going to get a few more Dual Boot Diaries episodes.
This is episode 39 that you're listening right now. And episode 40, I hopefully will be recording here at Computex with somebody. I have a couple people in mind, but I don't have anything lined up. So maybe there's a chance there won't be one. Anyway, I guess you'll see.
We'll see.
Either way, when I come back home, Will and I are going to have 4 more episodes left of the Dual Boot Diaries, because we're wrapping it up.
It's going to take 4 episodes for Adam to type RM space -RF asterisk and delete everything from his Linux partition. My Windows partition already gone, it turns out. Who knew?
Who knew? Also, I need to save up all my Neary jokes, just so I can get them out before the end. But no, we
won't have Neary to kick around anymore.
Yeah. No, this is sad.
An old guy reference. Yeah, it is sad.
This is
but
sad.
We're having fun.
I've been enjoying Dual Boot Diaries. Like, it really has taught me a lot. Like, it's been fun that we've been able to do this journey together. Like, I love working with you, of course, Will, but also doing something different where actively learning something and showing everyone at the same time of what we're doing was very scary when we went into this, and I didn't think it would work, but everybody has loved it. So
it's been fun because I think it actively pushed both of us out of our comfort zones. In maybe different ways, but kind of the same way in a lot of cases. And I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised that it's a little late here, that my Linux journey isn't in fact coming to an end. And hopefully by the time you're back in San Francisco, I'll have something to share about what I'm going to do next. But there's going to be a Linux podcast in my future for sure.
Yeah. There's more to talk about. We're not going to get into the details here, but of the last 4 episodes, we have something that we're planning for the last one. We do have a guest that has been needing to be on, and we're going to force him to come on because, hey, we're running out of runway here. And then I think, we got some other ideas in there to do for the final 4. But yeah, it's coming to an end, but it does for Dual Boot Diaries specifically, but not for Will. Will's going to be doing a ton more Linux stuff. To tell you the truth, I want to continue to do Linux stuff, but I don't know what form it's going to take quite yet. So we'll see on that. But Will's got some really cool stuff lined up. I'm excited.
I've been scheming. We have a couple programming notes for Dual Boot Diaries though. Like I said, 4 more episodes. We're going to do at least one Q&A in there. So if you have questions, last call for questions, you can email them to thefullnerd@pcworld.com, or you can go into the Full Nerd Discord, which is linked down below, and go to the DBD-questions channel and post them in there. Questions only. We're back in full rules mode now. It was no rules for a minute there, but now
only for the Full Nerd. Only the Full Nerd had no rules on episode 400.
No, it was the no rules week. Yeah, you say that, but I don't think so. Anyway, you can post your questions in there. We'll definitely get to them at some point before before we wrap this up. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I've gone way outside my comfort zone. And then I nestled back into my comfort zone, and it turns out that my comfort zone is free and fair OSs that you can make your own choices on, and you don't have the sweet loving embrace of Satya Nadella coming down to make sure that your experience is increasingly worse from update to update. But maybe they'll get better at that. Who knows? We'll talk about that too, I'm sure. But in the meantime, I guess we should probably start the episode. Right?
Yeah. So we have this episode that you're about to listen to is all questions, ones that were asked before this episode, obviously. So we get your new questions in for the end. But there's some really good ones. I don't actually tell you the truth. We recorded this last week. I don't even remember the questions, but they were probably good.
They were smart, and the people who sent them in were beautiful and probably smelled nice.
But I can guarantee you, I definitely ragged Neary a little bit in this episode. But just because I always do. So
I'm sure there's somebody's kept a spreadsheet. We've done 39 episodes, counting this one. The number of times you didn't slag on Neary at least a little bit was only in the ones where we didn't know what Neary was.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm waiting for the next season of Dual Boot Diaries where you try Neary, and then you come back with eating that humble pie over and over and over again.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe that'll be season 2. Anyway, let's start the show. And Will is going to go to bed. I just got up, and I have stuff to do at Computex. So yeah, here's the actual show. Welcome everyone to Dual Boot Diaries, episode 39. That's 39 of the Dual Boot Diaries, a weekly podcast where two longtime Windows users try to learn to use desktop Linux daily. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Patrick Murray.
I'm your other host, Will Smith, and we're not Linux experts, although we're getting there.
Yeah.
Baby steps. We are going to do this until such time as we're comfortable enough with either Linux or Windows that we just jettison the other one from our life, or maybe we're like, you know what? I'm done with computers. I'm moving to a cabin in the woods. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get real into whittling, Adam.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how my week went.
Yeah.
We're recording this out of order, so I forgot we're actually doing the next week episode before we do the this week
spoilers.
Episode.
You want to tell people? Wow,
look,
that's crazy. Yeah.
Look, I believe in transparency, radical transparency.
Yeah, we're actually recording 39 before 38 has even ever been recorded.
Stuff could happen in 38.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be off the hook. We're not going to mention it today at all, though.
Well, that's because the day that you're listening, or that this comes out, I don't know if that's the day you're listening to it, but hopefully you are. Yeah. The day it's coming out, I will be in Taiwan.
Yeah.
I will be, over getting ready. Well, what is the time of day? So it releases at 3 a.m. East Coast time, and then 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific. On video form.
Oh yeah.
So then, it'll be my evening.
Yeah.
I'll be in the evening, hitting some night market, and be like, oh hey, Dual Boot Diaries posted. Yeah. And so
you're gonna go. Here's the thing. I want you to walk around the night market. With the little stick camera and a microphone, and be like, hey, any Linux users here? Anybody here use Linux? You got that Linux? What's your favorite distro? You Ubuntu? Yeah, chucklehead.
You laugh. But I bet Linux is pretty well used in Taiwan.
I would be shocked if it's not.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I see wonder about that, though, is the complete lack of penetration of AMD graphics cards there.
True.
So maybe
you're very right. Yeah.
This could be moving the needle for AMD in Taiwan, though.
Maybe I don't know, but
because I feel like I've never been to Taiwan, but my assumption from what I know of people from Taiwan and people who go to is that the Linux people fit right in there.
Yeah, very makery, very reuse,
scrappy,
recycle.
Yeah.
You know, like
reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, all that stuff. Like
it's a Jack Johnson song about that.
Okay, maybe he's big in Taiwan.
I don't think
Who knows?
so.
Yeah, you never know.
Actually.
You never know.
You went to Santa Cruz.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Does you think he uses Linux?
Some of my friends, I can ask. One of my daughter's friends' parents Was that in his wedding, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
All right. Did he play his own songs at his wedding?
I don't think so.
That would actually be kind of
I would bet he had a bunch of like Rump Shaker and Bust a Move and stuff like that, like 90s hip hop.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That'd be my bet.
Anyway, yeah, I'm in Taiwan. Look forward to all the fun antics that I get up to over on the PCWorld YouTube channel. That's where I'll be posting the videos. I will be doing an episode of The Full Nerd live from the show like usual. I will be doing an episode of Expedition Handheld with Russ, who will be there in person with me.
What?
It'll be our first in-person podcast together.
You guys have never met before?
Well, we've definitely met for sure.
Okay.
And we did the intro or the teaser of Expedition Handheld in person at CES. So
you could have faked that though.
Could have.
You could just
That'd
had
be
two
really
green
good faking.
screens
Maybe
and,
Alex was so good.
Alex is really good.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I plan to do a podcast from the road of this podcast with a special guest.
Ooh, who's the special guest?
I don't know. I do not have them lined up.
Oh, okay.
I have a couple people in mind, but half of them I don't know if they're actually going to be there. So. Yeah,
it seems.
We'll see.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's funny. I've gotten a couple of emails lately about events. One of them was asking me if I was going to be at Summer Games Fest, which like usually people get down to my tier on the Summer Games list. Hey, are you there for meeting list? It's not a lot of people are showing.
Yeah,
I've gotten the similar vibes about Computex this year. I like a lot of the normal Computex people seem to not be going to Computex this year from conversations.
Then less competition.
Less
competition for me to do it. Sorry, I'm fuddling with the knobs over here. Oh no, don't hit that. That does show up in the recording.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
What? This one right here, or this one?
All of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Anyway, hot Linux news.
Yeah. We don't have any
actually,
news this
no,
week,
we're not going to
actually.
do news.
We're
We're doing
doing
Q&A.
questions.
Yeah, because once again, I'm
You're
off in
gone. You're not
Computex.
even here right now.
I'm not even here right now. How am I doing this?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
He's
AI.
a ghost. Are you a ghost?
No, I think I'm your
it.
open claw.
Can I put my whole hand? Whoa! I just put my hand through his face. He's a ghost.
Yeah, I
is an
can't
idiot
I can't
podcast.
hold 3 fingers in front of my face.
Why not?
I don't know, because I'm AI.
No, I heard if you put your hand in front of your face, then you're a ghost. If you like can see your veins on the back of your hand up close or something. I don't remember how it works. You got to get them real close though.
All right, no, I ain't doing that. We're off to a great start. We got some questions that we gathered from Discord.
Yeah.
If you want to get some questions in, and maybe we'll answer it on the next Q&A episode, then get down in the description. There's a link to the Full Nerd Network Discord, and then there's a DBD_questions channel in there.
Yeah.
And hopefully maybe we'll get to read it on the show.
Or you can email them to thefullnerd@PCWorld.com.
True. Yeah. I should check that inbox during the ad break to see if there's anything to address here. The first one comes up from Adam Patrick Murray.
Oh.
Friend of the show, maybe?
I think that's just you,
know.
dude.
Hi. I'm going to try to put this in a form of a question, so it's a question. But
I see the question here. Can I just read it? It says Neary ? Multiple DEs ?
All right, well, I've got multiple questions here. The first one is I know. But the first one is a reference to last week's episode, which was 37.
You're still shook from that, as I understand.
I was still shook from that, and there were multiple people who got in the comments saying, "Hey, I have multiple DEs loaded on my system. You just need to
be thoughtful.
Be thoughtful about how you set it up." And then there was multiple people in also being like, "Hey, this way lies pain and punishment."
Yeah.
Because different DEs will store different things in different places in your folder structure. And I was just like, I don't know what to believe. Will, what should I believe?
I would say believe the experts.
Okay. Do you know when we can call?
Okay. So yeah. So the problem with having multiple DEs installed, like
desktop environments.
So, for example, if you have GNOME and KDE installed on the same machine, weird things happen because some programs are written in such a way that they use different frameworks. GNOME and KDE use different frameworks for drawing windows, like the Chrome around the windows and how menus are presented, all that stuff. All the things that you think of as like system level choices about user interface are, I think it's Qt and GDK. Is that right? Or QTK? I can't remember. I can't remember what the GNOME one is. I think it's GTK. And those are used like some applications. For example, like you'll notice when you download Firefox or Chrome, you don't download a Qt or a GTK version of Firefox or Chrome, right? It just works. And my understanding is that when you get in a situation where you have both of those libraries there, those in-between softwares get real weird. And then there's also a bunch of other stuff. Like, it's less now because I think everybody's, like, all the main distros are kind of settled on systemd. But, like, if you're I guess that doesn't matter for this, because for the desktop environment, the systemd stuff is already chosen by the distro. So you're fine. Never mind.
Yeah.
Disregard that last part.
I don't know. It's weird to think that it would cause issues. I mean, I get it theoretically why it would cause issues, but also you're testing with the multiple desktop environments that you did recently that shook everybody, shook the world.
People had a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, was like, I guess I was surprised. I was surprised, and I was like, well, I kind of want to. What if I could have Fedora, which I enjoy Fedora.
You have it right there.
And then, well, actually, I don't have it on this laptop.
No, that looks like Windows.
We'll talk about that. We talked about that in episode 38.
Okay.
So, but we haven't recorded
I can't wait to hear
yet.
that conversation.
But yeah, so I like Fedora as a base, but what if I wanted to experiment around with different desktop environments?
Yeah.
Because really, like, that's kind of what I learned at the beginning of this, is that a lot of those choices are desktop environment based rather than the actual distro based. So I don't know, because like I'm still in that middle ground of like, I like GNOME, but I was liking Pop OS Cosmic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to go back and try Cosmic, but I got to load it up on a different computer, different partition, or I guess I can put it on a VM, whatever. I don't know, but I want to feel what it's going to be like to just use daily. And so it would just be so easy to be able to pick a different desktop environment from login.
Yeah. And
then you just use that one.
Well, so it's weird because, like, getting it working right took installing the main, like, Plasma desktop package, right, which downloads all the dependencies for that. But then there was a bunch of stuff that I had to install manually on top of that wasn't a direct dependency of the Plasma desktop, but that it was required to, like, do things like change the resolution on my monitor and which monitors were turned on and off and stuff like that. It's funny because, like, we talked about this on last week's episode too. I switched the bootloader on my desktop PC, and I did it like I mean, you heard this already, but we went through and recorded changing that over was as easy as changing a package. But now I'm in this weird spot where I have Grub still installed, and I'm not sure if that should stay or if it should go. And hopefully I got notes after last week's episode that told me what is safe to do, and I would have already done that if we weren't recording this episode before the next episode, which is confusing, and now I've gone cross-eyed.
Yeah, I can't even keep the thread. Anyway, it's always interesting to see when there is a list or a bunch of comments of people kind of disagreeing about something.
So for me, I think that the other thing is you have to remember people who've been using Linux for a long time probably have more baggage than the newer folks.
Like personally, or on the machine?
Linux related stuff.
Okay.
So, like, this is a lot of, just as on the Windows side, where people are like, well, you got to reinstall Windows every year or else your performance is going to go to hell. Like, those bits of common wisdom and, like, best practices may have been true 10, 20, 30 years ago in some cases, and less so now, right? And I feel like that's probably the case. Now, it's also possible that I'm going to do something tomorrow that's going to jack up my computer. I'll be like, oh man, I got to reinstall Linux again because I had 2 Ds installed, and now I've done it.
The double Ds. I can't believe it.
I think, like I said, I feel like GNOME and KDE having both of those installed is asking for trouble because Neri is so light and uses Quick Shell for all of its window Chrome and all that stuff. It feels a little bit less risky to me because there's less overlap. But I don't know for sure, and I'm not enough of an expert to make an informed conversation here.
Wow, Neri Stan over here. Also, my second question is...
I just like the most performant desktop environment.
Yes.
That's where I'm at.
As of the testing, but you've only really tested limited case testing.
The numbers have been decisive for so far. If all you care about is Shadow of the Tomb Raider performance, let me tell you about Neri.
Well, speaking of Neri, my other question is, am I being too harsh on Neri?
Yeah.
And the team over there?
Yeah, you're being a knucklehead.
Wow.
You're missing out on something really good.
But it is really funny.
Which part?
Every week to be like, oh, hey, is that a Neri issue? And you're like, oh, yeah.
I mean, they usually aren't, though.
I don't know, man. Check the tape.
Look, you have a long established anti-Neary bias. You just hate tiling window managers. I was going to say you should try XFCE on your old Garbo laptop because it's specifically designed to be incredibly lightweight for old computers.
I mean, Fedora on that ThinkBook has been fine.
You described it on the Full Nerd last week as kind of chonky but okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's definitely certain things like Electron apps that will weigh it down.
What if it could be fast?
Yeah, but I think it's the Electron.
Like a Ninja.
Right?
You're an Electron. I'm just saying you could maybe having a lighter weight window manager desktop environment might help you
I don't
get a little more juice out of that old turnip field.
Well, it does have slots for multiple SSDs, so I could dual boot on it.
You have slots.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Let's get to actual questions.
Real questions
from the people.
I can't believe you wasted a question on giving me
Two
grief
questions,
about Neary.
Yeah, well, that was only one of them.
Yeah.
A question comes in from Pedja, friend of the show Pedja, over on Discord. From which mecha anime/manga is the countdown before the episode starts? It's kind of epic. So I actually got a lot of comments on this one, but this is actually not our thing. This is when I set the YouTube video to go live, I have it premiere. So it's like a thing on YouTube where you can have it premiere, meaning it's a pre-recorded video, but it plays at the same time at a specific time, like it was live. Like live to tape is another way to say that. So when you
like
set
the
it,
Tonight Show.
Really?
They do live to tape.
Okay.
They record like 4 o'clock
I didn't know that. For some reason I thought,
Yeah.
You just broke my
You
heart.
think Jimmy Fallon's up at midnight every night
I don't
telling
know.
jokes?
I don't know. Yeah.
He's got stuff.
That's part of his job. There's like MCs that get on the
4
radio
o'clock.
like 3 a.m. in the
Those
morning.
are DJs. Those aren't real people.
Okay. Anyway, and so yeah, in the YouTube dashboard, you set how long you want the pre countdown thing to be, which I always do the minimum, which is a minute, and then you get to set the styles. Yeah, there's themes, and so this one's called sci-fi. I think most of the people who use those built-in tools like just default to the default, but I like the sci-fi one because it does look like an anime, and I'm like, I wish I could take credit for it, but it's not. It's not our thing. It's actually something built into YouTube. So yeah.
Well, that sounds cool.
Anyway, next question from Voice Kahlo, friend of the show. Have you checked out the Linux App Summit? There are some interesting open source related presentations. No. Have you?
I'm checking it out right now.
How often do you find yourself watching open source presentations?
Almost never.
I think we should maybe hold this question for when we have Brad Shoemaker on. Because I feel like he's probably the guy who would watch an open source presentation.
I'm going to tell you.
No? You think I'm way off?
So, look, I realize that we're talking to a substantial number of you right now through the power of YouTube. 99 times out of 10, out of 100, if I want to get information, I would much rather just have a written article than have to have a video.
Really?
Like how-to information.
What?
I hardly ever watch videos.
But dude, like it is an hour-long presentation at a Linux summit.
Could have been an email.
Really? You don't want to see what you're reading the transcript?
I will. If they give me a transcript to read, I will absolutely do that. But honestly, they could just share the deck in the notes, and I'd be good. I just want something I can skim through real fast.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I know.
Even if it's something that you're like super interested in.
Look, I'm gonna go and tell
like,
you.
What
My
if
age,
what if
there's
what
not
if
that
they
much
have
stuff that I'm interested in enough that I'm willing to watch an hour-long video for?
Well, what if next year they announce NearyCon, a convention for Neary?
That's not a thing.
And there's going to be speakers.
Yeah, I'm going to be speaking at that clearly. So, I
you wouldn't tune in for the sessions and watch them.
Like
what's new in Neary?
No, I if somebody writes a 3-paragraph summary of each of those sessions, I will read that all day long. But I'm not going to spend 6 hours watching the sessions. Like honestly, even when I go to conferences where there's good sessions, often I'll spend the time at the conference talking to people, and then I'll go watch the sessions on like 3x speed later on YouTube.
I mean, it's true. For me, I think the problem I have, and they did share a couple links. Thank you. in the chat is that it's titled Linux App Summit 2026 Day 1.
Yeah.
So the YouTube video is like literally
it's
just
a live stream.
It's like a recording of it. It's 7 hours long. It has no chapters. It doesn't say, maybe in the description. Yeah, even in the description, it doesn't say, oh, here we go. Somebody scrubbed it and put time codes. So we have lenient pottering, adding trust to Linux-based OSs, breaking architecture barriers, flat packing portals, a system of designing local first GNOME apps, streamlined application to. Okay, so
I would watch the x86 gaming on ARM1 probably, and that's it so far.
Yeah, but also I think that this feels like it's for developers, right?
Yeah, that's what the Linux App Summit would be, is a thing, a conference for people who make apps for Linux.
Yeah, and maybe some interesting crossover, but yeah, I don't know. So no, am I interested? No. The only time I've ever really watched a summit kind of thing that was Linux based was that there was Ubuntu had whatever their yearly thing is, and there was a person who had some sort of history around graphical interfaces, like talking about, oh hey, here's how we do UI better. Or not how we do UI better, but here's how we evolved UI over time. And that one was interesting. That wasn't just Linux based. It also like wasn't just Ubuntu based. Yeah. So that was a cool talk. But yeah.
Yeah, but like, for example, this morning, Marcin Winchery, who wrote I think the definitive book about keyboards and keyboard history technology.
Okay.
It's called Shift Happens, I think. I can't remember. But he did a blog post this morning that's like, I don't know, it's like a 30-minute read of ways you can program your keyboards to do interesting, helpful things for you. And he was looking at a bunch of those kind of aftermarket keypads, like that are like 8 or 10 or 12 or 16 buttons and maybe some knobs and stuff like that.
Okay.
That aren't exactly Stream Decks, but are more mechanical keyboards.
Like the Cooler Master one, you mean?
No, the Cooler Master one's more like a Stream Deck. I'm talking about like, oh god, the what's the one with like 16 buttons and the big giant knob on the side? That's the one that I think of as the famous one in this category.
I can't think of it.
But it's basically like a small mechanical keyboard with a QMX firmware, and you can like either bind specific actions to the thing. You can make it real scripty. You can do layers and all that kind of stuff. And he did this whole big long blog post about different ways that people use them, because his thing is he goes out and interviews people and finds out how they use their computers, and then talks about like that in an almost anthropological sense, right? If that had been a 45-minute video versus a 45-minute read, probably wouldn't have read it.
Yeah. We're different. I definitely would rather watch it. Voice Carlo, like, let us know. Can you send any timestamps of interesting presentations? That you got out of it?
That ARM x86 thing looks interesting. I wonder if that's got the FEX stuff in there.
Yeah, I do wonder if that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, how many of these things happen, do you think? Like big Linux presentations, summits, and
I think Linux apps for consumer, like desktop use, are probably relatively few, but there's a bunch of things like there's PyCon, which is a conference for Python developers, right? There's all of these sorts of things. It's funny, I don't think that there's an OBS thing. I'm kind of surprised that there's not an OBS con.
Wouldn't that just be a Twitch con?
Well, no, because OBS is like, people use OBS for a bunch of different things that aren't just Twitch. Twitch is just one of the larger, more popular usages.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Next question comes in from Ensal, friend of the show. So, how do we feel about AI doing the work to port non-native software over? He links a Phoronix article, which I'll put down in the description, and the rest of the question: if Adobe won't do it despite their grip on the market, this feels like the direction things may head. So yeah, essentially, people are using AI to port over, not port, but make translation layers work for Lightroom Classic. In this example, it was an open source developer with the assistance of Claude Code has managed to get Adobe Lightroom CC software working on Linux under Wine. So, number one, that it's interesting. Like, as somebody who's really stuck in the Adobe ecosystem, like it's interesting. How do you feel about having AI make the translation layer?
I feel like look, this is one of those difficult situations because I feel like if you're vibe coding, like you shouldn't vibe code stuff and then submit it to random open source projects, right? Like, especially there's a bunch of open source projects that have explicit rules against, right, including AI software for a whole host of good reasons. And I know I've talked to a couple of developers and a couple of maintainers who are like, yeah, the number of submissions I get that are clearly AI code that are just absolutely garbage that maybe work but won't pass unit tests or whatever is really, really high. Now, having it figure out the wine translation layer for a specific piece of software, like I don't feel quite as bad about. I haven't looked at this to see if it looks like an absolute nightmare, though.
Yeah, so in that article, there's a link to the GitHub. I just got to read one of the lines from the article. Quote, Claude Opus 4.7 working anonymously ended up doing much of the heavy lifting after being prompted Git Lightroom CC working on Linux, comma, then publish a reproducible recipe, end quote.
Yeah.
End quote.
And this is for the Lightroom CC, not Lightroom Classic, just for the record. Like, this is the modern Lightroom desktop, not the old standalone one.
Yeah. So I don't. I'm of two minds because the first part of me was like, yeah, screw Adobe. Like let's have somebody just do their work for them, or get access to this. It's like it almost feels like rebellious in nature a little bit. But it's also using AI to do it. So I don't know. Yeah, it's hard.
I think so. This person started with the files basement wine fork that fixed the CC installers check-in, so that you can launch the actual like authentication, so you can so they're not using a pirated version. It seems like I'm like I don't know. Like this feels more. This feels less bad than, hey, talking to a maintainer who's getting spammed with a bunch of AI commits, right? I still not sure. I think it's a good long-term solution for the problem, which is that Adobe should just release their friggin' software on Linux.
I mean, I really don't think they are.
No, they're never going to.
Yeah. Like I think that ship's too big to turn.
I don't know. I mean, look, if Microsoft market share keeps eroding, maybe they'll reconsider.
I think it's more likely that people will just move off. Like I think I had told you recently that there was an update for DaVinci Resolve that added
an audio
Lightroom like features for photo organization. So
yeah, it's funny. The other thing I looked at was Blender, which has a surprisingly robust video editor in there now, which they built because Blender's whole thing is that they dog food their tools, and they were like, well, we needed a video editor to be able to make movies with Blender, so we made a video editor, and like it's way better than I expected it to be. Anyway,
yeah, interesting for sure. The next one is from Snad 1975. I asked Copilot why I could not print again on my ancient HP 1018 printer after successfully tested it before, and the answer opened a new can of worms. It appears that several printers do not come with firmware on board, but it is re-uploaded by the driver every time it starts. Who knew? This is why printing on Linux can break a man. Wow. Okay. I actually did not know this. Did you know this?
Yeah, this is part of the modern nightmare that is printing.
Oh.
Is that like this is why everybody loves that cheap laser from Brother. Like the $80 laser printer from Brother is because it doesn't do most of this nonsense.
Because the firmware is on board.
It turns out they just have look. There was a whole bunch of host-based printers and scanners and combos and stuff for a long time that you had to plug into a computer with USB, and like they would glom CPU cycles from your computer to run. Huh. This is I guess better, but I don't know. This is why you buy network printers instead of USB printers. Is the real answer to this question?
Oh,
because a network printer has to have CPU and firmware and everything. It's running all the time, versus these cheap USB printers, which literally are just like a couple of motors and an ink squirter and a USB connection to your PC.
Dude, the amount of printers I still see on the side of the road every day, not every day, every week, I'll see at least a couple printers on the side of the road where it's just like, oh, another printer on the side of the road.
Well, and the planned obsolescence is obviously a big part of the problem, right? Where like you use it for a while and then they change the ink cartridge format and then or the toner cartridge format, and all of a sudden your replacement printer ink or cartridges or whatever cost 2 times what they used to. But there's also a bunch of other shenaniganry in terms of like, hey, it does the thing that it tries to trap the old people into buying toner and paper from the printer vendor, right? Oh, hey, Adam, I noticed I'm almost out of ink. Do you want to get some more? You can just hit the button on your printer, and then it'll send you a QR code that you can scan and go straight to the store and put your credit card in, and we'll say it'll just cost you 3 times as much as it normally does. It's a lousy market.
Yeah, I mean, this is aside from Linux stuff, but I wonder how much of the volume of e-waste is just printers.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably.
It's got to be large, right?
Yeah, but it's less than like TVs and stuff like that. Like when I take stuff to the e-waste in Pacifica, I often see like a 55 or 60-inch TV just in the big bin.
A CRT?
No.
Okay. I was about to say, I was like, wait, what?
You need a forklift to move that. Like I'm talking about a flat panel, like a 65-inch LCD flat panel.
True, and those were thicker at the time too.
I mean, I've seen ones that were thin enough I could lift it out by myself.
Really?
Yeah, people throw out all sorts of stuff. It's wild.
Okay. Well, yeah.
It's mostly phones, though, would be my guess. Like, maybe not by volume, but by number of items.
Yeah.
It's phones for sure.
Yeah, well, because there's burner phones, dumb phones, over the history.
People buy phones every year, and, for a long time, there was no, you couldn't give them back to Apple or Google or whatever to get a new one and then make it their problem. So,
yeah.
Those phones have to go somewhere.
So, you know what? You know where else we got to go?
Take a quick break.
Take an ad break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, thanks for that word from our sponsor.
Yeah, it was great. Just like the rest of these questions. So I did go and check the
electronic mail.
The electronic mail. We got a couple questions
that
have been
missive
sitting in there for a bit, so we're gonna answer these. The first one comes in from Lorenzo. Hello.
Thanks, Lorenzo.
When looking at a distro for a mature desktop for someone like me who has never had direct experience,
what do you think they mean by mature desktop?
I don't know.
I think they mean
specifically for people over 50.
Is this like when I went into that mature game store that time and I was like, whoa, these are not I thought we were going to see Call of Duty in here. Those people aren't wearing pants.
Okay, yeah, I'm
you think this is for an older user?
No. I'm not going to ask if there are waifu distros because I'm sure the answer is yes.
Look, anything can be a waifu distro if you try hard enough.
True. Yeah, maybe that's Atom OS. Anyway. Looking for a distro for a mature desktop for somebody like me who has never had direct experience of Linux. I found Mint and Zorn OS recommended. Have Will or Adam thought about running either? If they have considered those distributions, why were they deemed not suited for the podcast?
We looked at some of them. We tried Mint early on.
Yeah, Mint.
You used Mint
Pop
for a
was my
while.
first one.
Yeah,
and then I tried out Mint. It wasn't bad. I guess it was just close enough to Pop at that time that I was like, okay, I don't see anything different. And also by default, the main version of Mint was KDE Plasma. Mm-hmm. And then
which you hate.
Once I figured out the difference between KDE and GNOME, I was like, I'm a GNOME person. So, but Zorin, I mean, So, I mean, Mint's awesome. I've never used Zorin though.
So, I mean, I think the thing that we both realized, the thing that we both realized is that the distro was less important than the soft. Like the distro is an ethos, right? So like on Arch, it's hey, everything's running the latest versions, and it's you use systemd and a couple other core ideas, right? Like that you should be engaged with maintaining your computer. I think that the core ethos of Mint is hey, and Pop is hey, we want to build something that's an easy transition for Windows users or Mac users, which is fine. It wasn't really what I was looking for the podcast, because if that transition's too easy, it turns out we have fewer episodes of the show to do.
Well, yes, but I don't know. Like for me, I guess it's it's not like I left Pop! OS because it wasn't able to do what I wanted.
No.
I just started distro hopping.
Yeah.
So like it was just a part of my journey was to say, oh wow, look at that one. Oh, look at that one.
It's like on the
look at
season
that
of The
one.
Bachelor, when The Bachelor goes out and kisses all those girls, you were out kissing all the different distros.
Okay.
And then you came back and you were like, Fedora, it turns out, was the one in the hot tub that I liked all along.
Yeah, and I kissed Mint for a hot minute. I was like,
Mwah.
okay, nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're a
Decent
very nice
kisser.
you're a very nice distro.
Maybe a little more mouth than I was hoping for.
Nothing wrong with Mint at all. But yeah, okay, that's funny. Zoran, I
You
have
kissed Zoran too? I don't remember.
No,
you kissing
I never
Zoran.
kissed Zoran. I was getting confused because what was that one that you used that had weird package
Nix?
stuff?
Nix
Yeah,
OS?
okay, so this is not the same thing. I thought it was the same thing.
Nix is different.
So like Zoran, I have been interested in.
That looks like it's
For sure.
for Macs.
Yeah, well, I mean they've got different ways to present it. No, I mean like they got GNOME. I mean this looks like a
GNOME.
KDE kind of thing.
Oh, that could be a Neary or something there.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, I also thought it was funny on the main page for Zoran. There's a quote from PCWorld.
Oh.
Quote, when speed is of essence, Zoran OS really shines.
Oh.
And I have no idea who wrote this. It's not clickable. It's not attributed to anyone at PCWorld. So hopefully it's a real quote. But now I'm curious.
So the interesting thing, so for me, I ended up going with Cache because a lot of the work that's happening that I was particularly interested in, and I wanted to learn how things work, right? Like this is part of my goal with this whole project was I wanted to get good at Linux in the same way I've been good at Windows for a really long time. So more than just have a computer I could use to browse the web and do my taxes and all the things that we use our computers for, I wanted to have fundamental understanding about how things work in Linux. And like that process is slow, but I'm getting there. I feel like I'm at the point now where I like when something breaks, I kind of, instead of having no idea how to fix it, now I have a pretty good idea of where to at least start and then can dig in from there. I feel like using some of these the friendlier kind of gentle onboards for Windows users to Linux maybe defeats the purpose of that.
Yeah. So
That said, Cosmic really owns, so you should try Pop.
I think I found the PCWorld article.
Is this like 5 hot new Linux distros that are going to blow your mind?
No, I don't know. I can't find the direct quote just by quick search, but this is a contributor to PCWorld, Arnie Arnold. I actually don't know who this person is. Written in 2024, comparing a couple different distros. Okay, yeah, I don't know who this is, but like of the ones that are still on my list, like if I were to go back and start distro hopping again, that would definitely be on my list.
Cosmic
like,
or Zoran?
Zoran.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, like I definitely want to try out Pop! OS. Like it continues to call to me, to beckon. But Mint, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like Mint is in a good stable place, which is maybe something a lot of people appreciate. But it also just, there was nothing about it that I wanted to kind of go back and dig into.
I like the interesting thing to me about the Zoran pitch is, hey, we're building this on Ubuntu, so instead of Arch or Fedora or Red Hat, right? And as a result, you're going to have an easier ramp to getting your like Electron stuff working, and like you can use the Slack version that runs on Ubuntu and stuff like that, which is compelling if you don't want to have to fool with stuff like the AUR and whatever.
I mean, honestly, that's why I almost stuck with Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, there are so many people using Ubuntu that it must be easy to find documentation, to find other people who are running into issues that you might be having. And like, even though Fedora is not as widely used as Ubuntu, like it still is huge. Like that matters to me. Like it's easier for me to search for Fedora stuff and find a lot of Fedora information because Fedora is so widely used. Not that Mint isn't, but because Mint is a variation of Ubuntu, then you can kind of understand like, oh, okay. I don't know.
Well, yeah. And like I said, if your goal is, hey, you want a computer that's free of Microsoft, that's one thing. But if your goal is you want to learn about Linux, then maybe those hey, we're going to make this easy for Windows users distros aren't necessarily your jam.
Well, I'll tell you what. Which one am I going to give to my grandma I would put her on Mint probably.
She wants a mature desktop OS.
Like, yeah, something that's just not going to F around. You know, just like, hey, it is what it is, and it's rock solid.
Give her pop.
The Cosmic thing. I know you can probably still use different desktop environments, but I feel like they're putting so much work into Cosmic that I bet. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if
too fast for her, you think?
No. Okay. Cosmic, I think, is just too much for her. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's even the wallpaper. Like it's got the Cosmic.
I mean,
wallpaper.
You think it's too sparkly? It's like overstimulating for the geriatrics.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't say it. Next question that came in to the email box was from Curtis. Said, "Hey nerds, what is your favorite flavor of Unix?"
BSD.
Isn't Linux based off of Unix?
Solaris. I don't know. I'm just naming Unix.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bell Labs.
Wait, but you've used
AT&T.
BSD.
Yeah, I've used BSD.
Yeah. Okay. So you've actually used
BSD is
Unix.
not Unix.
Well, then what is Unix?
Unix is a proprietary operating system that was made by Bell Labs. In the,
so it's not a distro; it's like a kernel.
This is a Brad Shoemaker question. I'm not the
maybe
person
we should
to
hold
answer
this. Yeah, like
hold this until Brad's around. Unix is
actually my favorite version of Unix was the one in Jurassic Park.
That's
right.
I
thought she sat down at the terminal and she's like, "Oh, I understand this. This is Unix."
I know this. Yeah, it was a Sun workstation with a weird prototype 3D GUI that I don't think they ever. I mean, actually, that's not right. I bet I can install the 3D GUI for that. This is Unix. I know this.
What was BOS?
It was not Unix. Also, it's a POSIX compliant OS that was based on. God, what was it based on? It might have been its own original thing. They might have written the kernel for it and everything. But Unix. So there's a lot of stuff that Unix's likes are. Linux was built as a Unix clone for Windows. There was licensing stuff around Unix and who owned Unix for a really long time, because the company that bought it initially then got split up into a bunch of pieces, and it felt like there's scene drama around what is a Unix.
Scene drama, love it. That's the episode we should do with Brad Shoemaker, is just scene drama.
We've tried that before. People get really upset. It was a Silicon Graphics 3D file system navigator for Irix, which was another Unix variant that ran on SGI workstations.
I mean, it looked cool as hell. Like when she was going into the different, I assume those were like file folders, like they had like a spotlight and it would just like zoom in. Imagine if you had that animation every time you would go into a subfolder.
Well, like there've been a lot of people that have done those projects over the years, right? Like there was the thing that you could do where you could use Quake to manage your file system. And have you ever seen this? No. Maybe it was Doom.
What?
But you load up the file system in a first-person shooter, and you're like, each folder is a room, and in the room there are objects that represent the files, and if you shoot the files, then they get deleted.
But what else can you do with it?
You can pick them up with the E button and carry it to another room.
Okay, that's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a really good way to completely jack up your computer because you're like,
wow, I'm having fun.
You do a desktop
everything.
and you wipe out your Windows directory, and next thing you know,
that sounds like a fun way to delete a partition.
If you were going to delete a Linux partition, that would be a good way to go about it.
That's hilarious.
So, I want to say, it's called File System Visualizer (FSV).
Because it needs an acronym for sure.
Yeah. I want to see if you can get it for Linux. It's on SourceForge. You have to be running X Windows, though. I bet it doesn't work on Wayland.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that would be hilarious. Yeah.
3D file system visualizer. I don't think you can run it on Wayland, probably.
Well, maybe Mint
maybe you can
run that.
Hold on, I'm going to paru it real quick.
Oh, no. Oh, live searching for...
Live.
What do you got in here?
Library help mapping IDs, FS verify.
I don't think any of these are.
These don't look. Oh, FSVS file system versioning.
Virtual black hole file system that behaves like what?
That seems like a bad idea.
Virtual black hole. Why would you want that?
Sometimes you just want a place that you can send stuff. Oh, it's just dev null. So yeah, you can do that.
Is that to delete something?
Next file viewer look like for Window Maker. Nope, that's not it.
Dude, there's some wild stuff in this Paru, man.
Well, Paru's, this is just the
I know.
AUR.
Anyone can put stuff in there, though.
No, not exactly. Like these first few are part of the core cache repos.
Yeah.
It's the AUR that's
wild.
a little wild. Yeah.
This is Wild West, man.
Fast system versioning. No, I don't see there's a next file viewer lookalike for Window Maker. That's weird. But yeah, I don't think you can install. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Well, if somebody knows how we can do that.
Yeah. Let's go.
There's your other desktop environment. What is it called?
Yeah.
FSV.
I'm just going to run Erix on my Windows computer now in 2026.
Is there anything that runs Unix that I would have not have realized? Like, oh, hey, dog, that clock over there actually runs Unix. You use it all the time.
Well, no, all that stuff's running Linux now because Linux is way easier and runs on way more hardware. The Unix stuff was usually for like, so if you were trying to build a web server in like 1996, the way you did that was by buying a Spark machine for $100,000 and putting your web server on that, which was a Unix machine.
Okay.
Because the tools for hosting the websites didn't exist for PC until later when the LAMP stack, the Linux, Apache, MySQL, and I don't remember what the P was. But
Paru.
No, it wasn't Paru. What was the P?
Provider?
Anyway, no. But those provided an HTTP server that could serve web pages that you just could run on any PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like Linux exists because the BSD licensing drama, the Unix licensing drama was such that Linus wanted a Unix clone for Windows compatible PCs.
Okay.
x86 PCs.
It's pronounced Linus.
You're a Linus.
Thank you for the questions in our email box. If you want to write into our email, it's thefullnerd at PCWorld.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, not podcast.com.
No, podcast.com is a different
thefullnerd at PCWorld.com. The next one comes in from Discord from friend of the show, Great Mighty Daddy. I had a friend give me a laptop that they are no longer using. It's a first-gen Surface Book. Was thinking of putting Linux of some sort on it. A little research indicates there's something called the Surface kernel that helps make sure things like the pen and touchscreen work. Any recommendations or thoughts on putting Linux on a Surface device like the Surface Book? So my first question is that what processor is that running? Because I know there was the ones that ran ARM in that early push of ARM.
I think the Surface Book is the one that looked like a laptop the whole time.
Oh, that you could detach
it's
like
the detachable tablet. Yeah.
Gordon loved these. We have a couple over here.
Norman Chan, when I was at Tested, we would get these in, and Norm would be like, "I got a new laptop. I'm good. We're not this is the best thing I've ever seen." The first one was a Skylake, I think. So it's a 6300U.
Oh,
which
okay.
is probably fine.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, man, is that ARM based? What were those early ARM based tablets?
Those were terrible.
Yeah, but what was the the name
Cortex
of those?
A8s or something.
No, but what was the name of those?
They were Surface RTs.
Surface RT. There we go.
That thing was awful.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not that. That's cool. And you want to put Linux on it.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
There's a pretty robust community. There's a pretty robust community of people doing Linux stuff on Surface Books, getting the things like the pen and the different levels of because the neat thing about those pens on the Surface tablets was that they were really pressure sensitive. Like you could do actual art on them.
Oh.
Like in the same way you do on a Wacom or something like that.
Were those Wacom or no?
No, they was their own thing.
Oh, okay.
Or it was a digitizer they bought, but they did a good job on the software and the hardware, and it worked really well to the point that I want to say a bunch of webcomic folks really engaged with those and liked them because they let them work remotely and travel and stuff. I haven't spent any time at all looking at that stuff. I probably have a Surface RT at home someplace, but that was the last time I engaged with the Surface in any kind of meaningful way.
I bet it's not that hard to get the touchscreen working in an appreciable way. Yeah, the pen, who knows? Because then also the distro would have to have some sort of tools to be able to change it.
There's plenty of tools for pen support and all that stuff.
That's good.
Like KDE has if it detects that you have a pen compatible digitizer, pops up a tool, a pen nice. Setting thing in your settings panel. You might have to install it.
My other question would be, because the whole thing with the Surface Book is that it's a tablet that then you essentially dock into a keyboard, a full-size keyboard.
How it's gonna work. Yeah,
which has a battery, but I thought there were versions that had a discrete GPU in there as well.
You could get a dock with a discrete GPU, a keyboard with a discrete GPU, the whole thing.
So I don't know if they have that, but
I don't. My guess is that the Surface support stuff is better on the Surface tablets than it is on the Surface Book, but I don't know for sure.
Well, because my guess is like sure maybe some journalists like those, but my guess is those didn't sell very well. I don't know if I've ever seen one.
They
in the
were
wild.
really expensive.
Have you seen one in the wild?
The Surface, there's one in the other.
No,
room
but
there.
this is testing, hardware testing lab. Yeah.
It has like somebody put veneer on it.
That was
it has
Gordon.
wood on it.
Yeah, that was Gordon.
Gordon classed it
Yeah.
up.
So not journalists. Have you ever seen not journalists using it?
I mean, I don't usually see normal people using laptops.
Really? You go over to Blue Bottle and it's just MacBook heaven over there.
I don't look at what kind of computer. Like, I don't want to know what kind of computers
I always
people
like looking
have.
at the
That's
computers.
Weird
Really?
business. No,
I like to gauge a temperature. What are the coders around here?
coffee's
What are
hot. That's all that matters. Or cold, depending on your flavor.
I like cold coffee actually.
Yeah, I so for a while when you'd get on an airplane, you'd see a couple. Like it would be like 80 MacBooks on the airplane and like 2 people using weird Surface tablets. Yeah.
Well, now I want to see if I can dust this off and get it working with Linux.
You absolutely should. I think it's a great idea.
This is my new podcast.
Definitely not a waste of time.
What's in the pile of hardware that I can put Linux on?
What old crap can I run Linux on?
Yeah. Oh, hey, this week I put Linux on, what did I put it on? I don't know, a compact Presario.
That's not a real thing. Those
No?
are 2 not words.
Oh, I thought it was.
I just think no, it was a real.
Okay, I was like, man,
The compact Presarios were desktops, though. I think usually.
Oh, really?
Hey,
I could do desktops too.
So there's a whole the recommendation to give actionable advice here. When I was looking at tips for, I think the Zune upgrade, fixing the Zune battery, I stumbled onto a Surface Linux. Like part of that community was Surface people who are making Surface machines work on Linux. I don't remember where it was. I don't remember what the URL was, but
I'm sure they can find it.
Your people are out there. Go find them.
Yeah, go find your people. Also, let me know what distro you're going to do, because, like I said, I literally have 2 on the
You'll
shelf
tag
over
along,
there.
yeah.
I would try this with you, and if you could teach me a thing or two, maybe that works. Another question here from Voice Calo. Kind of piggybacks on that one, friend of the show. Have you tried using a touchscreen with Linux on your computer? KDE Plasma 6.6 and GNOME 50 have made it work smoothly. So Will next to me has a Framework 13 that you just tried to touch the screen.
It's not a touchscreen.
It's not a touchscreen. So, but the new Framework 13 Pro does have a touchscreen.
I can't take the orange thing off.
Yeah, you can.
I like that.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah, and I've used the touchscreen on device, like even that Lenovo I have, the old junker Lenovo has a touchscreen, and it works. Like do I do a lot of things with the touchscreen? Am I doing pen on it? No. For me, the touchscreen is mostly just like putting my hand to the side and then just scrolling with my thumb. Yeah. Like that's usually the extent of my touchscreen ability, and for that I've never had an issue.
So let's see. I've had 3 or 4 different laptops I've used over the course of doing this
Dell had a
podcast.
touchscreen.
The Dell and the Asus both had touchscreens.
Oh, the Asus did too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've never ever used them.
Really? You're not a touchscreen person?
Fundamentally do not like touchscreens on a laptop.
Dude.
Because my hand's here, my thumb is perfectly placed on the trackpad. That's all I need. And also I'm mostly like, maybe not on that Asus, but ever since the Asus, I've been using the tiling window manager, and I just don't take my hand off the keyboard if I don't have to.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
Well, but look at this. I'm on the Zorin homepage, and I put my hand to the side, and I'm just I'm sitting there scrolling, man.
I'm on the Wikipedia entry for the Surface Book, and
I know, but you're having to move your whole hand. I'm just using my thumb.
Your thumb. I'm like, look, the acceleration is better. It feels better. I don't know, man. I don't truck my touch. Plus, no grody fingerprints on my screen. Except for where I did them to try if there were fingerprints on my screen.
Okay, that happens.
The side of your computer is all greasy.
You know what? You're just a friend of Steve Jobs. He says nobody wants to
people
touch
don't want
the
touch
screen.
screens. Yeah, it's 640K RAM. We're going to introduce 3 new devices today, and nobody likes touch screens except for on their tablets.
Nobody wants
and
to touch
phones,
them. Yeah,
and watches. And also on your AirPods now, and probably for your face at some point. I don't know. What about your car?
I have a friend who has a baby about to turn 1.
Okay.
And
is it a cool baby or is it a demon baby?
It's a cool baby.
Okay.
It's like a real cool baby. Okay. Way cooler than I am.
Does it have like cool glasses or anything? Or is it like
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
It's just a cool baby. Okay. Anyway, why would you even question this baby?
I just want to know if the baby's cool, man.
Of course, it's cool.
How do you know?
It's a cool baby.
You talk to the baby?
I gave it my Game Boy Advance that I reshelled, and
Yeah.
its face just lit up. It just was like
What the hell's
cloud
a baby
nine.
going to do with a Game Boy Advance?
I don't know, man. I'll show you the photos. Like that was
Okay.
one happy baby.
Okay.
Anyway,
Probably thought it was a phone. It was stupid because they're a baby.
I mean, like a lot of people, my friends are trying to limit screen time.
Yep. That's a fool's errand, but
it's hard, right?
Yeah.
But even this almost 1-year-old,
yeah.
like sees something every time he sees my watch, which is not a touchscreen.
Yeah.
He goes up and tries
Yeah.
to tries to press it. Like it is so crazy to
You
think
have to
that like,
attach your TV to the wall because the children will climb the walls to touch the TV.
but like. What is it about human nature that is so into touching
It's not
interfaces?
human nature. It's just that it's the only computers they've ever been exposed to. So you give a kid a tablet and they think that the only thing you can do with any screen is to touch it.
Yeah.
And then as a result, you walk up.
And then they're like, well, that's the screen. Why can I not touch
Yeah.
that? That's the screen. Why can I not touch that?
Well, it's because Framework they couldn't make the plastic frame and the touchscreen work.
Well, yeah, separate thing.
Does the new laptop have the plastic frame around the screen or not so much?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, if they didn't, that would be weird. That's a framework thing. 13 Pro. We do not have it in.
It's a framework.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like the exact same frame.
Oh, nice.
Just by eyeballing it, so that is nice.
Interesting.
But it's touchscreen. No, it's not interesting to you. You don't even want to touch it. It'd be wasted on you.
I mean, look. Maybe I'm a touchscreen guy. Maybe there's a touchscreen guy inside me just trying to get out. It's like, oh my God, if only I had a touchscreen, I could get out of here.
Oh God! All right, we need to wrap it up and get out of here because I'm
It's getting a little punchy.
Yeah, getting a little punchy.
We got one more question.
We got one more question from friend of the show, ScribeFix. Which versions of Proton do you run? Just Proton Experimental as default? Proton Cache OS as default? On Cache? Does it matter? That is a great question.
It is a great question.
I think we should answer this multiple different ways.
Okay.
First off, Steam Deck. You have a Steam Deck. Do you still use
Steam
it?
Deck? Yeah.
Okay. What do you do on the Steam Deck?
Default.
Like default, like
If it works, like my Steam Deck is set up as defaults. So whatever a Steam Deck ships, that's what I run. And if I have a game that doesn't launch, then I'll usually try experimental and then hotfix. And then sometimes I have in the past installed the Glorious Egg Roll version, but I don't think that I currently have that installed.
Okay. I do the same thing for not only my Steam Deck, but even my other Steam OS based handhelds. For me, it's less about. It's more of a tool of troubleshooting. Am I having an issue? Yes or no? Then I'll go in and mess around with it. But if I'm not having an issue, then that's just what I'm going to use.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, are we doing it wrong? Maybe we're losing out on performance or features. Or
I don't
something?
care.
You don't care.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I just want the game to work and not have to think about it too much. If I'm playing a game on my Steam Deck, it's because I want to play a game, not because I want to fool around with stuff.
True. Well,
Right.
That's how you should come on to Expedition Handheld.
You're gonna love me.
Why? What happened?
No, I'm just saying you're gonna love me on Expedition.
Oh,
Handheld
yeah.
because you'll be like, hey,
Actually, Russ is a defaults guy.
yeah. Well,
So.
like as somebody who works on games that are in progress, keeping defaults is important, right? Because you want your machine when you're testing stuff to be representative of the broadest possible spectrum, and running defaults is the easiest way to do that.
Okay.
Now, the moment I started running Linux, all that went out the window.
Yeah. What about Cache? Your desktop at home. You do a lot of serious gaming there.
Uh-huh.
What do you do for the Proton version?
So by default, Steam ships on Cache with the Proton Cache OS forks, which is generally what I default to.
Where did you get Steam from? Paru?
No. When you do,
Or was it in Cache, like just built into Cache?
Cache Hello has an option in there that's like, hey man, do you want to install gaming packages?
Oh.
And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds great. And I hit that button and it got the Proton Cache forks and Steam, and I think it even does it include Heroic too? Yeah, it includes Heroic too.
Okay.
So like the TLDR is Heroic is really nice for this kind of stuff if you don't want to have to fool. If you want to run different things with like command line options and all that stuff, without having to like go into each one manually. So like if you want to run everything through GameScope and your Steam doesn't do that by default unless you're on a handheld. So like using Heroic to do that simplifies that process pretty dramatically.
Or if you want to add Steam Deck equals 0 to every line just in case. I still hate that one.
Yeah.
So
I generally try to use the defaults, and then like I said, if the Proton cache fork doesn't work, then I switch to experimental. I switch to whatever the latest Steam one is, then I switch to experimental. These days with 11.0 and beta, I'll sometimes try that, and then I do the hotfix if nothing else works.
So why does Cache fork off Proton and have their own?
So it's the same reason Glorious Egg Roll exists. There's stuff in the Cache and Proton GE versions that Valve can't ship because the licenses are weird. So it's like video codecs and stuff like that.
But that's only for like older games, right?
It depends.
Really?
Man. Bink shows up. You'd be surprised where Bink shows up. There's other optimizations and stuff like that. There's a whole if you go to the Cache GitHub page or GitLab, I can't remember if they're GitHub or GitLab, but you can go there and see the stuff that they do for their forks of Proton, and it's like,
how far behind is it?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, that's a rolling distro.
I don't know. But I mean, it still takes work to be like, oh, hey, here's a new Proton. We're almost on Proton 11, right? Isn't that the one that's in beta right now or something? So, like, I mean, they're trying to do the work at the same time.
Yeah, probably. So they even say on the Proton Cache page, hey, you should probably just use the one provided by the Steam client. And then there's a Steam community post. I don't actually.
That's interesting. They're like calling out specifically, hey, you should be using the Steam, what's built into Steam.
I mean, their whole thing is saying, hey, don't bother Valve with problems in our fork of their software.
Oh, well, I mean,
which is like responsible. But yeah, I honestly almost certainly just use this because it's the default and it works like 99% of the time. The other thing I do if I have a game that won't run is look at ProtonDB, because ProtonDB is an incredible resource. They have per game recommendations. People can upload the configurations that they've had that work, including things like which distro they use and what desktop environment and what driver they're using and all that kind of stuff. And and then also what command line options and what versions of Protons work for Protons, what versions of Proton work for them. I
typically haven't had to do that though.
It's unusual.
Yeah.
The places that I've had the most problem lately are newer stuff like Pragmata, which funnily worked when we were testing it out pre-release and then didn't work post.
Oh, really?
Post-release. They changed something in the way it launches.
Huh. On Neri.
On Neri. On KDE as well. This is the other benefit of having the KDE dual boot is switch over. So when I'm like, hey, shut up about your Neri hate.
Got me.
What was the other thing that I had trouble with? I don't remember.
Well, yeah.
But I've also had a weird thing. And this is a Neri thing, so you can get ready. Sometimes indie games, especially low poly ones that are designed, or like low pixel art ones that are supposed to be run at lower resolutions, show up in like a quarter of the screen, and you have to full screen them.
You've mentioned that before,
which is like a 2-second fix. It annoys me that I can't just make that work right out of the box.
Could you do it through Heroic?
If I did it through Heroic and launched everything with GameScope, it would probably work. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
GameScope solves a lot of these problems, it turns out.
Last question in this is: does it matter?
No. If the game works, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Enjoy your game. Play your game. Have fun. Drink Pepsi. Be a kid.
Yeah. I don't know. There is a little voice in the back of my head that's like, yeah, dog, but you could be missing out on something.
Yeah, look,
either performance or features or something. You could be missing out.
We went to the Vietnamese place down the street for lunch.
Yeah, we did. Spoilers.
But the other Vietnamese place a half block later could have been doing a special on the 5-spice chicken, and we missed out on like the best 5-spice chicken we've ever had.
I mean, it is a better banh mi for sure.
I think that banh mi is definitely better than the one that you had today. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you're always missing out on something. Like you're always going to miss out on something. You're going to make yourself create this. The path that you're walking here, this way lies madness. Just if the thing works, enjoy it. spend your time there, and then when the time is up, go do something else.
Wait, so you're saying I missed out on a cheaper banh mi?
Yeah, better, cheaper banh mi. You screwed up.
Dang it.
Yeah, you got played, son. Yeah, all because Doug wanted to go to the place with the noodles.
I will say,
Doug.
the old, like, look, this is lucky for you.
Yeah.
You know, running on a really high end hardware and 9800 X3D with a 5090.
Yeah.
On a handheld, you need every ounce of performance out of it.
It's fine. Smooth 40. Just move on.
Okay.
Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Like don't look. You sweat over the small stuff. It makes you crazy. This is how you end up on Reddit posting about, oh man, look, I found a command line thing that gives me 2 frames a second more and whatever. And like, yeah,
bigger
sometimes
bar better.
No, you know what? Sometimes yes. Sometimes bigger bar is good enough. It turns out medium bar is fine.
Medium bar is fine.
Yeah,
there we go.
Medium bar is fine. Yeah, welcome to PC World.
Yeah.
Medium bar is fine.
Medium bar is fine. Don't even know what that means.
Don't stress about the bars. Like this, like so much of what we do.
That's our job.
No, it's not. Our job is not to feed people. Like people want validation on the things that they spend money on, which I get. Like that's a natural human instinct to like. You spent $800 on a video card. You want to make sure you got the good one and not the crap one. Now I got bad news because half of the $800 video cards out there are the crap one. But does it play your games? Does it work? Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to engage in like internet tribalism to make you feel better and to justify your purchase. Just go play a game and have fun, man. That's our people's equivalent of touching grass. I'm telling you, like you want to, hey, I had some Subnautica crashes.
Oh, did we talk about this last episode?
Oh, we might have. Yeah, we probably did. Yeah,
we probably talked about that.
Yeah, but I had some Subnautica crashes on Windows.
Whoa, them's fighting words.
And I went into the Steam forums, which is always a mistake. Always a mistake to go into the Steam forums.
Don't go. I know not to go in there.
People, I think the internet has angried up people's blood at such a high level that like they're just not, the discourse is just completely unhinged.
I mean, that is
everywhere
true for a lot of things.
Everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, hey, what's your skincare routine? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you how wrong you are.
Call back.
Everything you know about skincare is wrong, Adam.
I just put cucumbers on my eyes.
What is this, the 50s? Are you Italian?
What? No, they put olives on their eyes over there.
No, that's only when they're dead. It's coins, then olives.
Really?
No.
Oh, God, I'm like, God.
Great show this week. We'll be back next week with another one if they keep letting us do this.
Man, this is why they send me to Taiwan. You know,
this is why we don't usually record this in the afternoon after the full nerd. We're a little punchy.
Listen, if you stayed around to the end of this, you got some good stuff.
You learned about the olives and the Italians. Sorry,
some good
Italians.
Stuff.
Don't write to Adam.
About
this.
You could write to me over at thefullnerd@PCWorld.com. You could watch the video version of this podcast over at the Full Nerd Network on YouTube or on Dual Boot Diaries Spotify. And your skincare routine.
I'm going to go ahead and find out. Like somebody is going to look at the video of this and they're going to see exactly when I looked into the Wallhaven wallpaper selector and I typed waifu just to see what would come up. I made a face. Let me know what it was.
Yeah. If you want to listen to us through RSS feeds, we should be on every major podcast provider. There are a couple minor ones that people every once in a while creep up and they're like, hey, you're not over here. Okay, let's check it out. I'll figure it out. Let us know. If you want to join our cool people over on Linux Talk, then go over to the link in the description. We have a Discord called the Full Nerd Network Discord. We have a Linux channel in there. We also have a Dual Boot Diaries questions channel. You can put only questions in there, please. Hopefully get read on a future episode. And yeah, Brad and Will made a tech pod. I also have the Full Nerd and Expedition handheld podcasts all around. How many times should I ask people about their Linux strategy at Computex?
I think you should literally walk around with a camera and a stick microphone and be like, hey, what's your Linux? Oh, you're talking about vendors?
Like actually at the show.
I would ask everybody that makes sense for.
Yeah.
I would ask, I'm curious if the motherboard vendors have strategies for supporting their hardware in Linux.
Oh, actually, maybe I should record like a supercut of people talking about Linux.
Like, is MSI engaging with the open source with like HWMon and stuff like that to get low-level support out of the box for their motherboard sensors? Same thing for ASUS and Gigabyte and those companies. I would love to know if people are thinking about doing more documentation and stuff like that. If the rising tide of Linux desktop use, as evidenced by the latest Steam survey, is making them kind of sit up and pay attention.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I
me
hope
too.
so. And to see all that cool Computex coverage.
But also, you should walk around the night market and be like, "Hey, yo, does anybody here use Linux?"
They'll be like,
and then when you're in jail, you can call us and we'll be like, "I can't get you out of jail in Taiwan. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry."
Yeah. Anyway, PCWorld's YouTube channel. You're going to see all the Computex coverage and maybe a Linux video.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll see. And hopefully the episode that we're going to do on the road for Dual Boot Diaries will be interesting.
I can't wait to see what
an
guest
interesting
you get.
guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks, Will.
Hey, thanks, Adam. This was fun.
I'm just jealous of your headphones this whole
They're pretty
time.
good. Look how orange they are.
That is pretty good. Yeah.
These are Moondrop old fashions, I think.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
I got them to go with my Zune. Linux's
HD.
number one
Zune
HD,
yeah.
audio player.
Yeah. Oh,
It has a radio.
Did you put Dual Boot Diaries on here?
No, of course not. I don't put podcast on.
All right, we
MP3
need to get
player.
out of here. Yeah.
I don't have a podcast.
I got to talk to
the
you.
podcast client doesn't work anymore.
Really?
No, it had to go through Microsoft Service.
Oh, okay.
So, we talked about it last week on the episode. You don't remember? Were you not paying attention?
Episode 38.
Good God, man.
Yes.
I told you all about how awesome
did tell me all
the
about
Zune
this.
software, XUNE, is for Linux and Windows, I guess, too.
Okay. All right.
But you,
Anyway.
I guess weren't listening. Thanks.
Yeah.
Always.
I'll have to go back and listen. Always be listening, and we'll see you later.